how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Cobra Kai Studio. I'm your host, Daniel-san, and this is our fan questions video. And, well, if you're new to the channel, then, well, these videos are literally just videos for us to hang out, talk about fan questions, theories, ideas, whatever be the case, whether they just are simple theories we come up with, or some crazy elaborate ones that we come up with, or find on the internet, or hear people talking about, discussing. Well, this channel it's turned into a fans videos channel for right the moment. So right now we're just enjoying making fan question videos and enjoying hanging out with all of you Cobra Kai fanatics and having fun as a Cobra Kai community, right? So if you're new to the channel, I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Obviously, what we're doing with the fan question videos, in case you're curious, because I've had some people ask what the fan question videos even are, is where you leave comments in the comment section asking a question you want me to talk about and debate with you in the live chat premiere, or some theories you have, or whatever be the case, you know what I mean? Like, you can pretty much ask whatever you want, and we'll go over it. You can just even say hi, and I'll include it into the video. So, let's get right into it. The first comment from Jeff. With the tease trailer, has anyone else noticed that Johnny only has the butterfly stitches in one shot? You're right at the beginning, where Daniel is saying, what did you think would happen? So, has he gotten into two different fights? No, I think what happened in that, Jeff, I think from the very first scene that you're talking about, where Daniel and him are in the scene and he has the butterfly stitches above his eye, I think that's like right after whatever happened with him happened. And I think the later on clip in the teaser is like maybe a little bit of time passed, maybe not a lot, but enough that he ain't wearing the bandages from the stitches anymore. So I think there was just kind of a little bit of a time jump that we don't exactly see, but they kind of put it in there in the trailer, because I kind of was curious of that too, because you right away see that he has this, the butterfly stitches and the bandages over his eye, and then come the end of the teaser, he doesn't, whenever he's like looking at looking at Miguel in the hospital bed. So I was kind of curious of that as well. I don't think it was two different fights. I just think it was time passed between the first teaser clip of him and then the last one. On to the next one from Young Gun. Random theory. What if Stingray is a time traveler and trained the first Miyagi? That would be interesting as hell, wouldn't it? But in that case, I would think Stingray is even more of a badass than we thought. Damn, Stingray, what all have you been doing? Thanks for commenting, Young Gun. That's an interesting theory. On to the next comment from Quiet Lightning. When, if ever, do you think Johnny will find the forgiveness in his heart to acknowledge and appreciate Mr. Miyagi for saving his life? Ooh, that's a good question there, Quiet. Considering how Johnny is, I don't know if we'll ever really see that, in my opinion. Now, maybe if he gets closer to Daniel in Season 3, like a lot of people are, expecting, maybe he might. Maybe he might say, thank you in his own ways. Maybe he'll say thank you to Daniel, and kind of show appreciation for what happened. But I don't know that we could fully expect that to actually happen, though, either. I don't know. Do y'all think that's something that they might throw into the Season 3 or Season 4 or any season in general, for that matter? Or you think it's just something that we're not really ever going to get any backstory to and see if he's ever going to actually show his appreciation for what Mr. Miyagi did for him in the Karate Kid movies, if you're curious. On to the next comment from Scott. Did the writers ever explain why Miguel got to the Sam and Toy battle late? He was in the same homeroom as Hawk, and Hawk got to the confirmation right at the beginning. I know, I seen that in the Easter egg things, and some people were, and I've seen videos on YouTube, so I can't remember whose it was. I watched a video of someone talking about that as well. They were like, how the hell did Hawk make it to the fight right at the beginning, but Miguel was late, when they both was in the same room and left at the same time? It's like, what the hell did Miguel do? Did he get lost on the way? I was curious of that too, actually, Scott. There's really no answer to that yet. Maybe we'll get some kind of a definitive answer in Season 3, but I was curious of that too, because it didn't make sense. It's like, how did Hawk get there for the beginning, but Miguel showed up like really late compared to that? It's like, I don't know. It's kind of interesting to think about. On to the next comment from Lisa. Also, I have a feeling there's going to be some family members of Miguel and Samantha if they have a boy cousin or something along that lines. Yeah, I mean, they could. I mean, they could end up including them into the show in some kind of a way, too. I mean, I'm not sure exactly who all we might see brought into the show, but I imagine there's still going to be more new people that we've yet to actually be introduced to, brought into the show at some point in time. Question there is, when will we see this, and who will we see? I'm imagining in Samantha's backstory episode, which everybody's thinking it's episode 2 because of the title. Maybe we'll see some kind of her relatives in some way. I also seen another theory going around again, which we debated this a few weeks ago, about the whole how close was Sam and Mr. Miyagi. And I seen an interesting thing where they were talking about the fact that they make Mr. Miyagi's death obviously 2011 instead of 2005 when the actor that played Mr. Miyagi actually died. Pat, rest in peace. But it's like, I kind of get what they're talking about. They're saying basically that maybe they pushed it to 2011 in the Cobra Kai series so that way they can have a backstory between Sam and Mr. Miyagi. And Aaron asked a brilliant question about this, not like I said a few weeks ago, asking if maybe Mr. Miyagi dying had some kind of effect on Sam, and that's why she quit karate or training or whatever. And there's a lot of people that are pulling this theory up and talking about it. I feel like it was BuzzFeed that made a post about it on Facebook or something. I was reading it earlier, and I was like, it just brought back memories because I remember Aaron asking that question and asking me to talk about it. So I was like, well, that's very interesting because apparently it might be possible, Aaron. So maybe we'll get that backstory in Sam's episode where we get to learn her backstory a little bit more. I'm curious to how that's going to actually play out. What do you think, though? You think it's a possibility that Mr. Miyagi's death had a big impact on Sam in some kind of a way? Because I guess it's possible. On to the next comment from Aaron. Speaking of Aaron. What if Terry Silver gets Robbie out of jail? I think that... I don't know. I think that he could have a possibility in it because I feel like Kreese is going to get him out of jail. Now, maybe Kreese has to go to Silver to actually make this happen. So, I wouldn't rule that out, Aaron. I feel like that's a big possibility in some kind of a way. I just don't know exactly what we can expect going into the season 3 of everything that we're going to learn. So, I'm hoping that's something we can kind of get a backstory to it. And that, it's not like this, oh, well, Robbie's out of jail out of nowhere. Which I know these writers, the way they wrote the show, we're going to figure it out in some way. They're going to have some kind of ties to somebody doing it if that's the case. A lot of people are still speculating that Robbie's not going to get out of jail. I don't see him being in jail the whole season 3. Do you? Do you all see him being in jail the whole season 3? I've seen a big fan, I guess you'd call it basically like a Reddit, but not Reddit. But they were just going off on each other saying how he's going to be in jail the whole season 3, blah yada yada. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't see the point in them putting him in jail and then keeping him in jail the whole season. I mean, I guess if they wanted to emphasize and focus on other characters and not so much Robbie, then maybe. But I want to know how you feel about it. Do you feel like he might be in jail for the whole season 3? I really don't. I feel like in some way someone is going to get him out of jail. I just don't know who at this point in time. But that's just my opinion. I don't think that that's something we could ever expect is him to be in jail the whole time. It just, to me, wouldn't make sense. On to the next one from Quiet Lightning. Looking forward to the next live video stream debate. This is something that I don't know. In counterbalance, Miyagi's headstone reads, Nariyoshi Miyagi, as opposed to Kiyosku Miyagi. Do you think there's more to it than the big 3 showing respect by breaking the 4th wall and combining the letters and Pat Nariyoki, I can never say that, sorry, Nariyoki Morita with Kiyosku Miyagi? That's interesting, man. I imagine, considering how these writers like to throw in little subtle things and Easter eggs and stuff, I imagine there is a bigger meaning to it in some kind of a way. Whether it be, like you said, to kind of bring his real name into it or something along those lines. I imagine there is some kind of bigger story to why they changed it like that. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos where people talked about it, and I don't want to, go into it because I can't remember exactly who said it or what video I seen it on, so I don't want to steal anybody's credit or anything like that. So I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want it to seem like I'm stealing their credit and not giving credit where it's due. I just won't talk about it because I can't remember exactly who it was. But if I do find what I was talking with about that question, I'll add it in the next video and I'll give them the credit because they had an interesting idea to that. So I'm kind of curious of that too. On to the next one. What if Mr. Miyagi's secret is that he had a twin brother and his twin trained Daniel? That would be crazy, Aaron. He never was trained by Mr. Miyagi to begin with. He was just trained by a twin. That would be kind of interesting. I don't think so, though. In my opinion, I don't think that that's his secret. But that would be a crazy secret if that was his secret. Can you imagine 2 Mr. Miyagis? That would just be crazy. It really sucks that the actor that played Mr. Miyagi passed away because, man, he would have brought an extra... not just set of hands, but an extra, how would you say it, just something extra to the show, you know what I mean? To have Mr. Miyagi in it would have been great, because we already have Kreese, and we possibly will have Silver and Mike Barnes and other cast members in the future. That to have Mr. Miyagi back would have been great, too. It sucks that, people pass away, life moves on, life keeps going, unfortunately. But, on to the next one. What if John Kreese tells Robbie that Johnny wants him to join Cobra Kai? Oh, I see what you're talking about, Aaron. Like, is it kind of like basically lying to him and kind of trying to get him to join his side, basically, to join the Kreese side? I could see Kreese doing that for sure. I mean, it'd make a lot of sense just because how Kreese is. He wants to get under Johnny's skin. That's a way to do it, honestly, if you think about it. Why not bring Johnny's son into his own teachings? And I don't know. I could just see Kreese doing it. That's just my way of feeling about that. But let me know how you feel. On to the next comment from Lisa. Also, I'm pretty sure Miyagi was based off of a real dude called Miyagi who did karate. By the way, they don't practice the same karate. Yep, you're not lying. Yeah, that is true, Lisa. He is technically based off of a real person. And yeah, they do. Basically, Tank So do is they're kind of like training in the Cobra Kai or whatever. But they have some different variances, though, from Miyagi-Do to, obviously, Cobra Kai. There's different, like, training methods and styles behind it. So they kind of have a little bit of other things mixed into it. Now, a lot of dojos in the world are like that, honestly. Like I said, I've been in 2 different Taekwondo dojos. One when I was really young and one when I got a little older to basically current day. And the style of Taekwondo was taught different. And I guess it's just different from master to master is honestly how it plays out. That's just how I see it, though. It's going to be different around the world, obviously, that no master is going to train exactly the same as the previous one. They're going to try to do their own little variances and try to make it different. And I've seen that and noticed that. I've been to a couple of different dojos where I was thinking about going and wasn't a fan of how they were training things. And this is, it's just different. On to the next one from Issa. I think there's going to be a sacred karate, and it's so dangerous it can kill. So Miyagi-Do, karate, and Cobra Kai team up, and it ends up being Kreese's brother. By the way, I'm happy you replied to my... I'm a fan, by the way. Hey, so thank you, man. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate it. Of course, anybody that comments on my videos, I'm going to talk about them, whether they're just saying hi or whatever be the case. And that would be kind of interesting to see, like a whole separate, basically, karate dojo that's going to kind of be against Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. That would be kind of interesting to see. I'm not going to lie. I would actually like the conflict that might, create. And it would be really, really interesting to see where it could lead to, I've kind of had weird theories about that, too, because obviously... where Cobra Kai's at, Miyagi-Do, they're not the only dojos around, We've seen that in the All Valley Karate Tournament. Obviously, they were facing off against people from different dojos, so some of those could have been that traveled from a distance, because when we did our tournaments in, like, Hobbs, New Mexico, and Albuquerque and stuff, obviously, we traveled from where I live, which is a few hours away, so obviously, it doesn't mean that they're exactly in the same town, but some of them, or one of them, has a chance to, and I believe that it's something we might could expect to see in the future, but I don't know exactly how it'll play out. On to the next comment from Evan Koch. Maggie Fitzgerald never had children and died before she had a chance. Really? Well, thanks for letting me know, Evan. I don't know too much about Maggie Fitzgerald, so I have no idea, but, it's interesting to hear about it. Like I said, I didn't watch that movie in forever now, so, was a little rusty on the whole comment there, but thanks for commenting your answer to that. That's awesome, and let me know some information there. On to the next one from Aaron. What if Julie Pierce is part owner of Mr. Miyagi's house? I never thought of that, of her being, like, part owner of the Miyagi-Do. That's kind of interesting to think of, Aaron. What do y'all think? I wouldn't be able to answer that personally, because I don't know, and I did try to look that question up online to see if there's any kind of facts behind that or anything that people... could detail about that, and there's not a whole lot, honestly, about that. There's really not. There's just very, very, very little bit to go off of. So it's kind of interesting to think of. I'm curious of that as well. On to the next one. I would like to see Tori and Robbie date. I mean, it'd be interesting, but I just don't think that's ever a possibility, Aaron, just because of... unless Tori, for some reason, never really liked or cared about Miguel. But because of the whole, obviously, we've seen Robbie kick Miguel over, hurt him, and, obviously Tori knows that. I don't think that that's something we could ever expect just because of that reason. I just don't. I feel like it's possible that... I don't know. I just don't think that we'd ever see that, in my opinion. It just seems like it's something that we're not gonna see. So, I don't think so, Aaron. But, I won't rule it out. Maybe in the future. Things might change as the seasons go. Who knows? On to the next comment from Tom. Hope you had a good birthday, dude. I really want to see a rematch between Sam and Tori. I did, man. I had a pretty decent one. Thank you for commenting about it. And I do too. I think that the Tori and Sam rematch should definitely happen. Like 100%. Like I just feel like that's something that we should see sometime in the future, whether we do or not. I guess will be the whole dilemma there. But I imagine we'll see Tori and Sam go back at it. I don't think they'll ever be friends. I don't think that they're ever gonna be on good terms. So I guarantee you there's going to be a time where we see them fight again. The question is when and how. But I bet you we do. On to the next one. Do you think that Anthony is a spoiled kid? I do. I think he's a spoiled little brat, just as Sam is. But, that's just, some kids are, some ain't. So, it's just, it's what it is. But, yes, I do, Aaron. I do think that Anthony is a spoiled little kid. On to the next comment from Lisa. I'm pretty sure that Miguel and Samantha will be in a relationship in season 3, but I wonder if Robbie and Tori would if she gives him a chance after the whole situation. Lisa, I agree. I think Miguel and Sam are actually going to be back in a relationship in season 3, which me, I'm Team Miguel and Team Tori being together, but I do honestly feel Miguel and Samantha are going to be the ones to get back together, and that might cause conflict with where Tori could maybe end up being with Miguel. It's kind of the same as what Aaron was talking about, but I don't know that I would say I see that happening. I don't. But I won't rule it out, because it really could happen. You can't for sure say that it's not going to happen, because it might. On to the next comment from Follow My Instagram, John. Great video. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm trying, getting better as I can. Sometimes I have to rush these videos, so I would say, in my opinion, they're not as up to my standards as I'd want them to be, but at the same time, I like trying to get them out daily, and sometimes that requires just fitting them in wherever I can fit them in to make them sometimes, Eventually, I'll get better. On to the next one from Scott. If at the beginning of the season, Daniel steps away from Miyagi-Do, what do you think will happen to his students since they don't have a dojo? That's a very interesting question, Scott. In my opinion, depending on how motivated they are for, Miyagi-Do, I feel like they're not going to go to a different dojo. I think they're going to maybe continue practicing at home, maybe still reach out to Daniel until he actually decides to start training them again, because he should. He shouldn't just give up right away. I understand him and his wife's, dilemma and everything. Like, I get it. I really do. I understand that there's going to be dilemmas and there's going to be problems, and, what else can you expect? But at the same time, it's like, I don't know exactly what I would say for sure that the students might do, because I guess there's a lot that could be left open. At the same time, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think their students at Miyagi-Do is going to do, since Daniel might not be, training again at the beginning of the season 3? On to the next comment from Bonsai Kai Dojo. I really love these question videos. It's awesome to engage with the viewers. Thank you, Bonsai Kai, a.k.a. Sensei and Guest Sensei. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know. I really love these videos. They're a lot of fun to just sit here and kind of hang out as a community, chat, have a fun 20, 30 minutes whenever we can get them up. Just one of those things that I feel like's a lot of fun to do. On to the next comment from Young Gun. Random theory. Could Stingray beat Kreese and be the one to kill him? I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out, but I would say no. But then again, I don't know. Stingray's pretty badass, so maybe he could, I guess. He could pull the whole thing like he did in the forest and just sneak up on them and get them out of nowhere when they least expect it, right? On to the next comment from Aaron. How did Daniel get Mr. Miyagi's truck back? I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe one of you all here could answer it. I'm not too familiar on the whole Miyagi's truck situation, so maybe one of you all would actually be able to answer that better than I could. How do you think that Daniel was able to get Mr. Miyagi's truck back? On to the next question. Robbie, Sam, and Dimitri are my least 3 favorite characters. I want Hawk to win the rivalry between him and Dimitri. Nice, Nick. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Sam or Dimitri. My opinions of Robbie's kind of changed. He was one of my favorite characters, but as we've gotten to go, he's not like my least favorite character, but at the same time, he's not my favorite character either. So it's like, I kind of don't know where I stand with the whole Robbie situation right now. But nice. Thanks for commenting and let me know who your 3 least favorite characters are. Because I'm going to do a 10 least favorite characters or 5 least character videos soon. So it's going to be interesting to see how we all think about that and who our least favorite, our favorite, etc. characters or our medium characters where we can take them or leave them kind of situation. So we got 2 more comments. One from Young Gun. How do you think how do you want to see Cobra Kai end? Okay, I remember us talking about that in the chat, Young Gun. I don't know, man. This one's a hard one for me to actually talk about and debate because, honestly, I don't want to see it end. But, oh no, this is actually the last comment. Okay, so this is the last comment, my bad. But yeah, I don't know how I would say I want it to end because obviously I don't want Cobra Kai to end, but obviously all good things do end, so it's like it's going to end some way. I wouldn't mind everybody finishing off on good terms. I know it sounds weird, but I figure that's a good way to end the show. Like Daniel's rivalry and Johnny, they're on good terms, maybe even working together. Dimitri and Hawk friends again, Robbie and Miguel friends, Robbie being with maybe Tori, Sam being with Miguel, whatever be the case. But I would like it to end on a good note. Obviously, we don't want to be left on a cliffhanger that never gets answered, because that would just always suck. But again, it would always leave us open for videos to make and speculate and puzzle about what we could expect to happen moving forward. So I guess it kind of just depends on how you see things. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, because that's all the fan questions we have for today. So as always, I want to say thank you to Bonsai Kai Dojo. Thank you to all of you that are subscribed to me. Thank you for my moderators. Thank you for everybody that comments and interacts in these videos and makes these videos what they are. We are a strong community of Cobra Kai fanatics. And what else can you say? So as always, everyone, stay badass, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.